people, we are here, we are live, we are back. Friday evening vibes. Big up to everyone locked in on this wonderful Friday. If you live up north in England or in Wales, I hope you're being safe, because I've heard about this little storm, this rainstorm that's happening or expected to happen. Apparently even the Merseyside derby might get postponed tomorrow morning because of winds up to 80 miles per hour and rain. So if you are living in anywhere that might be affected, I hope you are doing well. Big up to everyone locked in. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. Be sure to subscribe. We've got a big game tomorrow. I know you lot probably don't think it's a big game, but it is a big game, because any game right now for Manchester United is big if it gives them an opportunity to claw back some points in the table. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I feel like right now the Premier League table is just so close. Like, there is no gaps between practically like 12th and 3rd. There's not a big gap. And any kind of loss or any draw, anyone drop points between 2nd and 13, and the whole table can kind of change. Nottingham Forest, tomorrow's rivals, are in, I think, 7th place or 8th place. They're definitely above United, that's for sure. Yeah, they're in 7th place. But fun fact, guys, a little fun fact. Manchester United have scored more goals than Forest this season, and they've conceded less. Not a lot, but still. Forest have scored 16 and conceded 16. Man United have scored 17 and conceded 15. So Man United have scored 1 goal more than them and conceded 1 goal less than them. However, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. Forest, I think, has only ever beaten Manchester United once, and Manchester United have 6 wins over them. But it's not going to be a walk in the park for Manchester United. But given what Ruben Amorim has said in his pre-game presser, I definitely think that he knows who he wants to start. I think he kind of has a gist now of the players that he wants to go with. He keeps emphasizing this idea about match fitness and getting people 100% fit, which is why he's been rotating the last 3-4 games. But I'm hoping now we might see a run of games of consistent lineups. The only place I would say that maybe is up for grabs is the front line. I feel like the front line just depends most of the time potentially on who the opponent is that Manchester United are coming up against. We saw Everton, Joshua Zirkzee flourished in that role. However, Bodo Glimt, we saw Højlund flourish in that role at number 9. So I think it can change. But in terms of the back line, Lisandro Martinez back from his suspensions. Kobe Mainoo is back from his 1-game suspension as well. So the midfield could definitely see some consistency. The back line can see some consistency as well. But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Forest game. Be sure to get involved in the comment section as well. I want to hear your thoughts. We're going to talk about that. We're going to start with some transfer stuff, of course, because news is picking up a little bit about Alphonso Davies. Now, for some context, guys, we are in December. It's the 6th of December right now. And from the 1st of January, players who are free agents in the summer, i.e. their contracts expire on June the 30th, can negotiate with other clubs outside of their club. So from the 1st of January, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mohamed Salah, Alphonso Davies, a lot of players can begin negotiating with other clubs outside of their club, which is why I think I could definitely say that you lot should expect news to start to pick up in January, especially ahead of the transfer window as well, regarding people who are free agents, whether it's Alphonso Davies, whether Manchester United get linked to anybody else. I would expect some news to definitely start to pick up. Now, just on that, we're going to start with that before we kind of get into the context of the Forest game tomorrow. But reports coming out from Germany is Manchester United have asked Alphonso Davies and his agency for a meeting in January. Now, apparently, from what is being reported, it sounds a bit dramatic. I'm not going to lie, guys. It does sound a little bit dramatic. But from what is being reported, Alphonso Davies' agent is not happy with the way that Bayern Munich are dealing with them. And Bayern Munich is reportedly not happy with the demands from the agent. The agent is asking for a 16 million euro salary for Alphonso Davies and a 15 million sign-on bonus. That's a lot. The Germans are not happy with that. Bayern Munich are not happy with that. And, of course, it's not just Manchester United that is linked to Alphonso Davies. Now, I was watching Kerkez yesterday, Bournemouth versus Tottenham. And it really makes me... I feel like right now Man United are probably spoilt for choice when it comes to left wing back options. You got the option of obviously Alphonso Davies. Then you've got the option of Premier League players, Robinson from Fulham. You've got the option of Kirkes from Bournemouth. You've got the option of Aït-Nouri from Wolves, who potentially, if they go down, I think Wolves might cash in on quite a few of their players. But equally, they've got the buyback option for Alvaro Fernandez. So I think when it comes to left wing back position in particular, I feel like Manchester United are spoiled for choice. I will still keep an eye on this Alphonso Davies thing because I definitely think there is something to it, but I'll keep an eye on it. And some other news coming out is that Ruud van Nistelrooy, now appointed manager, got his first win as the manager of Leicester. It's funny, he beat Leicester twice and then they said, you know what, let's hire you as the new manager when we sack our manager. But Ruud van Nistelrooy reportedly is planning to use his contacts at Manchester United to get Toby Collier on loan to join Leicester in January. I think it will be a good move for him if it gets him playing time, it gets him regular football. There's the other kid as well from Bonetta or something like that. I might be mispronouncing his name, but he's on loan, I think, from Brighton as well at Leicester. Getting regular football, if that helps Toby Collier develop and just kind of see more senior football, then let him go for it. Unfortunately, in this midfield right now, I just think he hasn't really got a clean shot in the team. We saw him a little bit during preseason, but that's about it. We haven't really had a player break through into the first team from the academy this season. I mean, last season, at this point, we had Kobbie Mainoo. The season before that, we had Garnacho breaking into the first team. We don't really have anyone breaking into the first team just yet. From the academy, but who's to say that there's no one going to break through? Possibly someone could break through, but that is news on Toby Collier, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. Big up to Riri with the super chat, says bless up Minna and the community. Bless up sis, I hope you're doing well. Be sure to hit the like button, guys, if you've just come through as well. I know today's stream is different. It's a different time to when we usually stream. I know I'm saying we as if there's multiple of us streaming. It's a different time. Normally we do 4:30 UK time, but today I thought to do it a little bit later because actually I wasn't feeling that great, guys, if I'm being honest. And I actually was going to cancel the stream, but I thought, let me just see it through and do the stream and preview the game tomorrow against Forest. Now, like I said, Forest are sitting 7th in the table currently. They've had a good start to the season. I think there's quite a few, I don't want to say imposters, because I think it's harsh to say imposters. But there's a lot of teams in and around the top 8 or the top half of the team that I think are slowly going to fall out. I mean, we've got Brighton in 5th place. We've got Fulham in 6th place. Obviously, you've got Chelsea in 2nd place, who I actually think, for what a lot of people probably had Chelsea doing this season, I think Chelsea have shut up a lot of haters, me included, because I did not have them being anywhere near the top 4. And then you've got further down the table, you've got Tottenham dropping to 10th. I mean, football is a funny thing, right? Football is a funny thing because not that long ago, Spurs were sitting in and around the top 4, the top 5. And now they are closer to us than they are the top 4. They are sitting in 10th place. Obviously, we've got Brentford, we've got Newcastle, and then we've got United. But the thing, the part that I could try to emphasize the most is that the point gap between 13th, where Manchester United sit, and 5th, where Brighton sit, is about 4 points. Anybody loses tomorrow, anybody draws, anyone drops points, that table shifts between 6th to 13th, which is why I'm saying it's 3 points only from Nottingham Forest for Manchester United. That should be, like, I don't want to hear about, and maybe this is where you lot might disagree with me, I don't want to hear about the stuff where people like to say, oh, I'm focusing more on the performance. Oh, I'm looking at how the manager sets up. I'm not bothered by the result. Don't lie, guys. Don't lie. Because you don't want to fall back further and further down the table. Now, we have West Ham just behind us. 4 points, so I think Manchester United, even if they draw, will sit at least in 13th place. But United need to climb up the table. Slow progress for me is better than no progress. That's what I always say. And I'm not saying that I expect Manchester United to go and compete top 4, get into top 4, crack the top 4 and, get second in the table. I just need United to win games. It's as simple as that. Now, I feel like the pressure is bigger in the fixtures against people like Arsenal. We got City next weekend, which is another reason why I think that Manchester United need to win tomorrow. Now, let me know if you lot are happy with a draw against Forest, if you're more focused about the result, because for me, I've said that Manchester United need to win against Forest because they got a big fixture the following weekend. I think I think going into the fixture against Spurs, not Spurs, sorry, because we got them the week after. Going into the fixture against Manchester City off the back of a win against Nottingham Forest eases a little bit of pressure. Now, of course, who am I to talk about pressure when Manchester City are losing? How many? So they've won 1 game in 8. Pep Guardiola is getting rattled by fans in the street that are coming up to him. All of that is happening at Manchester City. Yeah? All of that is happening at Manchester City. But in a Manchester derby and Amorim's first Manchester derby, I would rather he and the players are able to go into it a little bit more confident, having come off of a win and 3 points at Old Trafford. I mean, home advantage is a big thing as well. I think that is a big thing. But I just have a feeling with this uncertainty around who started, it's very difficult to predict lineups. I don't know if you lot realize, I don't really do the lineup predictions anymore. I tend, and I'm going to do it at the end of the stream, I'm going to go with what is my preferred starting 11, because it's very difficult to predict who's going to start. I think Leachart is back as well, so he will start. Ligt we'll see start. Mizraoui will start. This is a hot take, but I would start Lenny Yoro. I would start Lenny Yoro. Let him get 45 minutes in the tank. Take him off at halftime. I would let him get 45 minutes in the tank and let him, sub him off at halftime, like we saw what happened with Tyrell Malacia, for example. I really liked what I saw from Lenny Yoro. Very composed on the ball. Now I get why people call him Baby Varane. Now I hear it a little bit, because just in his gameplay and the essence of the way that he plays, he reminds me a little bit of Varane, of a younger Varane, the Varane that United wanted before he joined Real Madrid. Now, I can only say that with more time, with more games, Lenny Yoro will only get better. And I also think that a lot of people were a bit reaction, like one ball over the top to Trossard on the midweek game had people thinking Lenny Yoro was crap. But I don't think people paid attention to what he did in that transition or that kind of segment of the game. When that ball came over the top to Trossard, how he managed to close down the angle. And yeah, Ligt got the block in the end, but Lenny Yoro did something smart. Again, decision-making, football IQ, all the things that we like to talk about when it comes to, potentially young players, what they may or may not have. But he made the right decision, stayed on his feet, didn't go to ground, and kind of closed the angle for Trossard to not get the shot. I think that with more playing time, we'll see why United risked spending 50 million or so on a young player that's only played 1 season of senior football. Now, equally with saying that, I would also like to see, and I actually tweeted this earlier today. If you don't follow me, go follow me on Twitter, on all my platforms. But I tweeted earlier today saying that if we have Yoro as a right-sided centre-back, and we have Mizraoui as a right wing-back, and we have Ahmad on the right-hand side of the 2 10s, and we have Kobbie Mainoo on the right-hand side of the midfield, that is Manchester United's most technically secure side. That side oozes technical ability, because Ahmad is a technical player, Yoro is technical, Maz is technical, and Kobbie is technical. Now, I don't know how likely it is that we'll be able to see that. I mean, when I'm talking about Yoro, the reason why I'm saying I would like to see him start, because the only way you can get match fit, right, is by playing games. We saw him play 30 minutes against Arsenal. Let him play 45 against Forest, whether it's coming on or starting the game. I would be all for it, because like Amorim has said multiple times, players need to get match fit. You know what, guys, I actually think it's a statement to Erik ten Hag when Amorim talks about how poor the players are fitness-wise. Like, I genuinely think that kind of confirms to you how poor, whatever it was Erik ten Hag was trying to do, how bad it was. And yes, during that time of Erik ten Hag, especially like the last 15 or so months, the manager bared a lot of the brunt, but equally the players did, right? The players bared a lot of the brunt. And I'm not going to lie, there's some players who I don't think have redeemed themselves in the last 4 games. They haven't redeemed themselves yet. But I think it says a lot when Ruben Amorim comes out in his first game, or after his second game, I think it was after the Bodo Glimt game, where he says that he has to rotate because players are not fit and he needs to get players to match fitness and get them 100% fit. And that's not just about the players who are coming back from injury. My guy was talking about everybody. He was talking about everyone. And like I said, that says a lot. That says a lot. But big up to everyone in the chat. Listen, guys, be sure to hit the like button if you've just come through. If you want to join the membership club as well, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content. Of course, you get to support the growth of the channel, the ever-growing channel as well. If you want to support the channel in alternative ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. And if you want to do something simple, something easy, something free, just hit subscribe and hit like. It really helps with the algorithm. It pushes the videos more out. As you lot notice, I'm doing a lot more match reactions directly after the game rather than doing a stream and a match reaction, because both videos just get lost in the algorithm. So it's better to just do a match reaction and then obviously do a stream the next day, or maybe later in the day after that game. So tomorrow, inshallah, I think it's a 5:30 kickoff. So so a video will be out at 7:30 straight after the game, and then probably it will be a stream on Sunday to kind of talk a bit more about the game in detail. Now, I don't know, have I been living under a rock, guys? Since when was he the manager of Nottingham Forest? Have I been living under a rock? I thought, was he the manager this season? I clearly been living under a rock. Clearly, I've been living, because he's been their manager since last season, since 2023. Wallahi, that says a lot. That's crazy. That's crazy. But to be honest, guys, I was going to say that I only remember Steve Cooper, but Steve Cooper got... I'm saying I remember Steve Cooper being the manager of Forest, but he literally got sacked by Forest and he just got sacked by Leicester. So that says a lot. That says a lot. I got no ball knowledge. For all the people that say I got ball knowledge, this is proof I got no ball knowledge. Big up, Minna, you should do a watch-along of United games. Nah, I don't do watch-alongs because it's too condensed. Watch-alongs for United is too condensed. Obviously, UV does it, and that's where I tend to watch the watch-alongs. But a lot of other content creators that I follow do watch-alongs as well. So I don't want to be just another watch-along. Plus, guys, I think I've actually said this. I don't even enjoy doing watch-alongs that much. I do it for the women's, and I'll be doing it for the women's game on Sunday, 12 o'clock kickoff, Liverpool versus Man United. But I don't really enjoy doing consistent watch-alongs because it's not easy just talking to your screen non-stop, guys. It's really not easy. And sometimes I like to sit on my sofa with a cup of tea, biscuits, whatever, and just watch football with a blanket. Like, that's it. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. So that's why I don't do watch-alongs often. I don't really do watch-alongs often. What are we saying as a starting front three, guys? What are we saying these three as a starting front three? Yes, yay or nay? Just say yay or nay in the chat. Just say yay or nay in the chat. Because I don't know at what point, and this is just generally me being curious. Absolutely nay. This is me just being curious, right? At what point do you think this Ahmad at right wing back stops? Now, again, I've said this time and time again, I completely understand why Ruben Amorim is playing Amad Diallo as a right wing back. I completely understand it. But I want to see Ahmad in the 10. Maybe because I just want to see what he'll look like there. I've seen him play there against Sunderland, for Sunderland, sorry. I just want to see what he can offer in the 10. I feel like what he offers at right wing back, he could possibly offer more being further up the pitch. But I also think of the fact that Manchester United playing Ahmad at right wing back, I have a theory is because they're not great at progressing the ball from the fullback positions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when Dalot has the ball, he just comes in on his left foot or right foot and plays a ball over the top into the center. Mazraoui can progress the ball, which is why I think Mazraoui as a right-sided centre-back is low-key a cheat code. But equally with Ahmad as well, I think having Mazraoui and Ahmad next to each other is also a cheat code. But Mason Mount is the interesting one for me. Mason Mount is the interesting one because outside of pressing an opponent And I think actually, I was gonna say outside of pressing an opponent, he doesn't offer much, but that's a lie. He does. He does offer a bit. He does offer a bit. But out of all the options that United have, I wouldn't look at, the 25-man squad, the 3, 4, 5 options that I have to play in the 10. And Mason Mount wouldn't always necessarily be the first name I put on the team sheet. But that's just my opinion. Against Arsenal, everybody was talking about having a front line of, and it was these two plus Garnacho, right? Everyone was talking about them 3 starting because of energy, because of pressing, because they can run. But they weren't doing any of that. Mason Mount, I actually think Mason Mount has mastered the art. And I don't want to be too harsh, so I'm going to try to say this in a very nice way. I think Mason Mount has mastered the art of being on the pitch and looking busy, but not doing anything. And I don't mean that in a mean way, and I don't mean that in a way like to like be mean to him. But I watch him a lot, and I just think, bro, you're on the pitch, but you're actually doing nothing. But it looks like you're doing something. Like you're doing, like, yes, against Bodo Glimt, he had a decent game, but I think it's also because United had a lot more of control of the game in comparison to maybe the Arsenal game. So maybe I'm judging him on 2 games that are completely different sides of the coin. You don't mean it, but it's mean. I'm trying my best to not be mean. I'm even trying to say it in a nice way. But it's like the Arsenal game and the Bodo Glimt game is 2 different sides of a coin, right? One is a game where United had a lot more kind of control of it, despite the fact that it was a bit back and forth. And then the Arsenal game, United were just set up to defend for most of the time and just be compact. So when you ask for compactness, when you ask for discipline, try and close the passing lanes, Mason Mount can do that. But outside of that, in a team potentially that can look to, dominate possession and, create chances with those possessions, I don't think Mount is the choice for the 10. And I know a lot of people then will say, oh, but, he played there, when Chelsea won the Champions League. We need to accept that Mason Mount now and the Mason Mount of the Champions League Chelsea winning team is 2 different Mason Mounts. They are 2 completely, like, Mason Mount is not that player that he was. When was it Chelsea won the Champions League? However many years ago. He's not the same player. Big up to Sully with the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Sully. I appreciate it so much. Says, if I had my wish, I'd never want to see Rashi and Mount out. You'd never want to see them out of the lineup, or you want them out of the lineup? Mount completed 10 passes against Arsenal. That can't be real. I'm sorry. I need to go and look at it myself. He had 10 passes completed. Nah, that can't be real. He played 60 minutes. You are right. 10 out of 11 passes. Okay, guys, out of the club. Okay, you want him out of the club. Fun fact, guys. Mason Mount had 15 touches in his entire performance against Arsenal. He played 60 minutes. Onana had 32 touches in the first half alone, which means Mason Mount had less than half of the touches that Onana had. Now, of course, we can discuss the fact that Manchester United had the ball a lot more. I don't even think Man United were passing a lot more in their own half when they had possession. Now, even when you think about, recoveries, 0, defensive actions, 3, no tackles. He didn't make any tackles at all. 1 pass into the final third, 0 touches in the opponent's box. Of course, the game plan is a big factor of it. I agree, the game plan is a big factor of it. So when your game plan is predominantly just to frustrate the opponent, I don't want to say park the bus, but, be compact with your back 5, and United were passing a lot back to Onana. Considering all of that stuff, I'm not shocked that Mount had 15 touches, but Garnacho, in the same amount of time, had more than double the touches that Mason Mount had. Despite the fact that, we can argue that he got Garnacho did get dispossessed quite a few times, but a big part of Garnacho probably getting those touches is because he's making himself available for the pass. He's, coming short to pick up the ball. Just for some context, guys, Garnacho had 33 touches in 60 minutes. and Mason Mount had 15 touches in the same amount of time. Now Garnacho was successful 2 out of 3 dribbles, and he lost 6. He won 6 duels and lost 3. Now this is why I always say eye test is equally as important as stats. Eye test is equally as important as the stats, because I will look at these stats and think, you know what, these lot didn't have a bad game, but it was that front three was horrible. It was a horrible front three. United inside forwards lack fundamentals. They cannot check to the ball. They cannot check to the ball side on to see forward passes or touch the ball forward. Everything is backwards and sideways. That leads me to my next point. And I guess this is a question for you guys. Would you play Ahmad in the 10, given the fact of maybe Manchester United's 10s are not technical enough and some of them are not good enough on the board? Like, I've already said my thoughts on Garnacho and Rashford as the 2 10s. I've already said that many games don't require them to. Garnacho, I don't think, can play as a 10. He's too much of a wide player rather than an inside forward. And Marcus Rashford, for me, I think Man United might actually sell him. I love Marcus Rashford, but I just think that Man United need to focus on getting the players that fit the system. Rather than trying to turn players into players that fit the system. I would much rather United maybe sell 2 players and go out and buy an inside forward that can actually play in that role, rather than trying to mold Garnacho into an inside forward or trying to mold Rashford into an inside forward. Marcus Rashford is 27 years old. Gone are the days that you can turn him into the kind of player that you want him to be. Like, honestly speaking, you cannot turn him into an inside forward. However, games like Everton reiterated to me, and even Bodo Glimt, where I saw it a few times as well, his ability to kind of make runs into the spaces that the 9 might vacate. I think those are the kind of situations that it works for him. But having someone inside behind the 9 in front of the midfield, you're required to be good on the ball. You're required to be able to retain possession. You need to have some creative element in your game. You can't just be a kick it and run kind of player. You can't be that. And I think Garnacho and Rashford are like that. Now, I think as well, as time goes on, we will clearly see more and more who fits in the system and who doesn't. But I also think it's the responsibility of United's kind of ownership. When it gets to like April, they need to sit down and I hope they will, they probably will, but they need to sit down and have conversations about, okay, these players do not fit into what Amorim is gonna want. They've had 6 or so months at that point to see that, okay, we're gonna have to sell them. And if it means that they sell Rashford, so be it. But I would much rather have someone in that 10 that can play as one. I've seen us linked to Kvaratskhelia. I don't know what's the likelihood, by the way, of Napoli selling him for a reasonable price, because they're going to sell Victor Osimhen as well in the summer. I would take him at United. I would absolutely take him at Florian Wirtz. I would take him at United. Ahmad, I want to see him in the 10. I really want to see him in the 10. Big up to Stu, the newest member. Big up, Stu. And I'm seeing you put that's a Christmas hat that you put on Amorim. Big up to Stu, man. Thank you. Welcome to the community. If you want to join the membership gang just like Stu, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get your custom member content, and of course you get to support the growth of the channel. If you want to support the channel in other ways, you can by sending in super chats with your comments, with your questions, with your thoughts, or just to show some love. You can do that. But if you want to do something nice and simple, a lot more easier, just hit the like button. Big up to Kadeem. I hope you're doing well, Kadeem. Theo says, I think Anthony is starting tomorrow. Do you guys want Anthony? Like, genuine question, yeah? To everyone that wanted Anthony to play as a wing back. Are you entertained? Are you impressed? Because I've been saying this for a long time. I think last season when people were saying turn Anthony into a left back, I was saying no. People now, Amorim came in, people saying turn him into a wing back. I was saying no. To the people who wanted Anthony as a wing back, are you entertained. No, you're not. I know you're not. I know you are not entertained because Anthony cannot play as a wingback. And I really think we need to let go of that idea. It's like, it's like people are now, I realize people are moving away from Anthony and they're moving towards Garnacho as a wingback. Move away from both of them. Move away from both of them. Big up to Ridwan, newest member in the community. Welcome. Big up to Ridwan. And big up Riri, just gifted 5 memberships. 5. Who managed to get themselves a membership from Queen Riri? I see Sully got one. Broderick got one. Mark got one. Big up to Mark. John got one. And Manish got one. Big up to all 5 of you lot. And big up to Riri as well. If you're a member, firstly, make sure you thank Riri. Number 2, make sure you take advantage of all the perks that you get. The emojis. We got some cool emojis, guys. I'm not going to lie. Where's the one? We got the Butcher. We got Amorim. We got, which one we got? We got Bruno. We got Pogba. We got Rashi. We got a lot. We got a lot of emojis. So make sure you guys use your emojis as well. Just sell them both. Get rid of Anthony and Garnacho. Then bring in a wing back and a 10. Valencia had at least had decent crosses. Valencia was jokes. I can't lie. Watching Valencia was probably one of the most frustrating fullbacks to watch. But bear in mind, United turned him. Valencia was a winger when he was at Wigan, right? Am I going crazy? Because I'm sure he was a winger at Wigan, and United turned him into a fullback. He was frustrating. But the thing is with with Valencia, at least you knew 9 times or 8 times out of 10, he's gonna find someone in the box, even if it was a bullet of a cross on the floor, across the ground. You knew that Valencia was gonna find someone, even if it was by accident. He was a winger, even played as a winger under Ferguson. I thought so. Ashley Young too. I know, guys. How's Ashley Young still playing football? Honest question, yeah. The guy's 40 years old and he's still playing not just any football. It's not like he's playing in the Croatian league or something. My guy's still playing in the Premier League, game in, game out. Everton fans must be losing it. They actually must be losing it. I saw you on Sky Sports. You talk a lot of sense. Enjoying the content so far. Keep it up. Big up. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Valencia was a winger, came to United as a winger, later became a fullback, same as Young. I remember when Ashley Young was playing as a winger because he scored those 2 goals against Arsenal, if you lot remember, coming off the left-hand side. Minna, the rest of you needs to step up their emoji game like your channel does. I'm going to relay that information. To you, V. Ashley Young is the LeBron of the Premier League. Don't ever do that. Don't ever compare LeBron to Ashley Young. Is come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Not LeBron. Maybe he's like the Udonis Haslem. He's like the Udonis. I think Udonis actually retired from the NBA recently as well. I actually think thought Ashley Young should have retired when he left United. I thought Ashley Young was going to retire when he left Inter. And now he's going to play against his son in the FA Cup. Maybe that's what Riri means. He's the LeBron of the Premier League because he's going to play against his son. He's going to play against his son plays for Peterborough. And he's going to play against his son. Minna, I'm not going to lie, but I saw 50 minutes that convinced me of Amorim. How long? Let me ask you a question, guys, yeah? Amorim was stressed, by the way, against Arsenal. I know I've only watched him for 4 games as United manager, but that was probably the most stressed I've seen him on the touchline. How long is it taking you guys to be sold on Amorim? Question to you guys, number 1. Number 2, if you're not sold on Amorim, why are you not sold on him? Because I think for me, it was probably after Bodo Glimt. Even though United just scraped they didn't scrape a win because I think the scoreline was really flattering to Bodo Glimt. I'm not going to lie. That 3-2 scoreline, if you saw the scoreline, it would have been flattering. But when I was fully sold on him was after that game. I liked the interviews, but for me, it's like you talk the talk, but are you going to walk the walk? That was the biggest thing for me. So when he came in and he was and Amorim was talking about, you know, his formation, and he was talking about back three. You know, the media was obsessed with the whole back three stuff. He's talking about back three and all of that. I thought, you know what? If he comes in and he can adapt consistently to games. When I saw him against Everton, guys, yeah, at this point I was sold on him, yeah, but Everton, United couldn't string a pass. 25th minute, the guy turns around ferociously to the bench and he points at, I think it's Garnacho and someone else, and he tells him, go, go. He didn't even talk, by the way. I saw a video from a fan perspective. He didn't even say anything. He just turned around, he pointed, and he went, and they just went. They went to go warm up. That 50 minutes, because anyway, anyone can have 10-minute patches, but 50 minutes is solid. Arsenal couldn't create a chance from open play. I think against Arsenal, I'm not gonna lie, and this is the thing. I've been going back and forth. Listen, if you lot have friends who are Arsenal fans, you know the problem that I have. Yeah, I've been going back and forth with my friends who are Arsenal fans, and I've been saying I rate Arsenal what they can do with their set pieces. Yeah, because set pieces are not easy to consistently create and score from. But I said up until that first goal, United got their game plan absolutely right, and it frustrated Arsenal. Arsenal were getting irritated. The Arsenal players were getting frustrated. They could not have any kind of clear chance at goal. And this is a team that slapped 5 goals past West Ham in 45 minutes on the weekend. So I agree, Manchester United against Arsenal. But the thing is, football is 90 minutes. Football is 90 minutes. Can United under Amorim build on this and be like, you know what? We had a good 50 minutes. Next games, let's have a good 70 minutes. 80 minutes. Now, eventually you get a good, consistent 90 minutes. Hi, Mina. First I saw you from the Amadou and Nana. Oh my God, that video went viral, guys. Yeah, to a point like my family and that in like America and whatnot saw it. Because for some context, guys, Man United versus Everton last season, Old Trafford. I think it's like March time. I was doing a fan view outside with Flex, and Amadou and Anna walks past, and I was like to him, come to United, and then he just laughs and walks off. And today discovered your channel. Big up, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Half of their set pieces are dodgy and it's sour grapes. They obstruct and bomb the keeper. Listen, football is the dark art sports. It's a dark art sport. Like, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right, but they're getting away with it. I saw though that they were gonna it's crazy though, because if United did it, do you think United would get away with that stuff in the box? I don't think so. I don't think so. The guy hasn't had a full season, and Mandem saying he's chosen. So he's saying we shouldn't get too ahead of ourselves. Big up to Ibra, says not sold yet. I need a big sample size. Trust is earned. I was sold on the Moncler, not the Moncler. I was sold the day that I saw a picture of him walking through town with his like 3 assistant coaches, and they looked like they just walked out of a flipping kebab shop. That's when I was sold, because he looked like he blended in with the people of Manchester. Tomorrow we need to beat Nottingham Forest and send them back to where they should be, lower down the table, respectfully. Honestly, Forest are way too high up the table for my liking, guys. I'm not kidding, bro. Forest are way too high up in the table. Let me actually bring up the table here. Forest are way too high up the table for my liking. They need, like, come on. 7th. Are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? And it's funny because they are not even on like a look at this. They've lost 3 out of 5 games. And this is why form is one thing, but just getting wins is the most important thing. And this is like, I was having this argument last week, I remember, with Nuruddin, and I was saying, you know, I will take 3 points. Yes, you can sit there and you can dwell on, you know, the performance, but at the end of the day, guys, at the moment, the most important thing is to build momentum. How do you build momentum? By winning games. You don't build momentum by having a good performance but losing. That's not how you build momentum. That's how I feel anyway. That's just my thoughts on it. But like I said earlier, like look at the table, guys. Yeah, let's take out. Well, okay, look, United's 13th. Yeah, we're 13th, 19 points. The gap between us and Brighton is 4 points. Tomorrow and on the weekend, when all these teams play, this table is going to be changing non-stop. Like, the table is going to be changing non-stop. That's why I'm not too I need United to win, and I need United to get 3 points. hopefully keep another clean sheet as well. But also, going into the game next weekend against City, I'd rather go in coming off of a win against Forest than coming off of a draw. The table is cramped. It's so cramped. The table is so cramped. It's annoying me. Those 30 minutes from Yoro caused me to forget about all the trauma that Maguire, Lindelof, Bailly, Jones era had caused me. Listen, I don't like to do it, but now I hear why people calling him Baby Varane. I hear it. Forest hype, they will fall off soon. I think, like I said, I think a lot of these teams will go back to where they should be, and I mean that respectfully. Because people could say United need to go back to where they should be as well. But I people like Fulham, Brighton. Maybe I'm big club hype. This might be big club hype, guys. But I like Manchester United and the big teams being, the traditional top four. Like what was the top four when you guys were growing up? I think that says a lot. The top four when I was growing up was Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, United. That was the top four growing up. City, Spurs, all of that nonsense just started to those conversations started to occur in the last 10 years. Yeah, Newcastle is in the last couple of years, and even Newcastle is one team. I've actually not kept up with Newcastle that much this season, but they're not that far away from us. Newcastle versus Brentford, they're playing each other. So again, one of these lot are gonna drop here. Spurs is playing Chelsea. I think Chelsea's gonna slap them. Bournemouth are playing Ipswich. I think that game could actually go either way. Aston Villa versus Southampton. I think Villa could come out on top of that. Excuse me. Fulham and Arsenal as well. I think Arsenal will win that. Brighton versus Leicester. You never know. New manager bounce. Growing up, Liverpool weren't in top four. Irrelevant club in the Barclays era. I think Liverpool, I don't know. To me, they were, when I was growing up, I felt like Liverpool was always relevant. Like the big rivalries were, United's biggest rivalry was Arsenal and Liverpool. I don't know. That's my opinion. You lot might disagree with me, but when I was growing up, Arsenal and Liverpool was the biggest rivalry with Manchester United, and then obviously Chelsea, because it's when Abramovich took over, and then they just started winning galore. But let's not get too sidetracked. Let's not get too sidetracked, and let's get to this, which y'all see on the screen. That is, let's do it like this. Obviously, this is the obvious. I think the goalkeeper is always a given, right? But the back line is going to be the interesting one for me. Do you give Yoro his first start? This is, by the way, what you want to see. Not what Amorim is going to do, but maybe what you guys want to see tomorrow. Because I already gave my reasoning as to why I would like to see Lenny Yoro potentially play. Maybe get 45. I want him to get 45 minutes like Malacia did, or 45 minutes in the second half. But just keep giving him that opportunity to play, especially because he's come off of it was a broken foot injury, I think, that he came off of. So I can understand United being very cautious with him. De Ligt, I don't know if you lot saw, but obviously against Arsenal, he went down. I think someone clipped him. De Ligt has been playing a lot of football as well. Harry Maguire's back as well from injury. De Ligt in the right channel, yeah. De Ligt in this little right channel, scary a little bit. I can't lie, guys. I like De Ligt central. On the right, not so much. Not so much. He's not really, but I don't want to be too harsh and just judge him off of that one game that he played on the right side of the back three. But just in the wide channels, the same way with Maguire in the wide channels, I wouldn't be that comfortable with. I actually think, I don't know where this idea of De Ligt not being good on the ball comes from. Like, where does this idea that De Ligt is not good on the ball? He's good on the ball. Harry Maguire is good on the ball as well. I feel like a lot of Man United's backline, Yoro, Maz, De Ligt, Maguire, Licha, they're all good on the ball. De Ligt is a central centre-back like David Luiz under Conte. Yeah, I agree. We need intensity, number 1. 2, ball control. 3, play Casemiro middle centre-back. What you were saying, yeah, was going well until you said Casemiro middle centre-back. What? There's no injuries, and you want to play Casemiro. Casemiro at centre-back is only when there is injuries. There is none. So why the hell do you want to play him there? Why the hell do you want to play him there? Answer for your crime right now. Anana, Mazza, Delit, Martinez, Malacia, Maino, Cass, Ahmad, Rashi, Xerxes, Bruno. Ooh, might have to come back to that. He did well. He's mobile and delivery of the ball. I'm not going to agree with you of him. I agree that he's mobile. He's not that mobile. He is good on the ball, can play those deep passes, but you've got natural centre-backs that can do that. Casemiro as a centre-back is, I think, last choice when nobody's available. No one is available. Let's go central. I'm going to go... Should I go with my heart? Or my heart wants Lenny Yoro at right-sided centre-back, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to say Maguire in the middle. Maguire, I think, might play in the back. I think it'll be Maguire, Martinez, and I think it'll be Delit. I think that might be... But even then, actually, I might be wrong. Actually, I don't know. This is the problem with Ruben Amorim, guys. I don't know what he's going to do. Be realistic, Mina. Yoro won't start. I know, that's why I'm not putting him in. But equally, what's the likelihood of Mazraoui being at right wing back? How likely is it? I feel like, you know what? I feel like it might be what we've been seeing. I think it might be this. I think Amorim will continue with what we've been seeing in the back line. He talks about how much he likes Ahmad as well at right wing back. He talks about the balance that he adds and all this stuff. So I'm gonna say is Ahmad at right wing back. I want Ahmad in the 10, bro. I just want one game to see him in the 10, and then I promise you I will shut up. And I think it'll be Dallo. I don't think it'll be Malacia. Because Malacia played against Bodo Glimt, and then we didn't see him again until the following week. So because he played midweek, I don't think he's going to play on the weekend. I think we'll see him again next week in the Europa League. But I think this will be the team for in terms of the back line. In terms of the middle, I think it will be Ugarte, who is slowly starting to flourish. I actually think it might be Casemiro, guys. I actually think it might be Casemiro, just because Ugarte's played a lot of football so far under Ruben Amorim. And because the games are, like the manager has said, it's coming thick and fast. People need match fitness, etc., etc. There will be rotation. If the rotation is not in the back line, there will be rotation in the midfield. If there's no rotation in the midfield, then the rotation will be in the front line. I think this could be the lineup. But the thing is even if I choose to put Ugarte here or Casemiro here, either or is a good option. I think Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte played 90 minutes against Arsenal. Yeah, exactly. He played 90 minutes. I don't think it's likely for him to play. The only person that I see playing every minute under Amorim is probably Onana. I see everyone else getting substituted here and there. Kobbie Mainoo for me is a player that needs to grow into the season. Obviously, he's just come back from injury. Only, played one game for United. It wasn't the most amazing performance, but consistent football will give him that. I don't even... You know what, guys? What if I said this? And I said Mainoo here? And by the way, I would love to see that. How likely is it going to happen? Very unlikely. I feel like it's more likely to happen on the team sheet where Mainoo is listed in the middle and Bruno is listed in the 10. But during the game, they interchange. I think that's more likely. But similar to like how I want to see Ahmad in the 10. I want to see Mainoo in the 10. I don't know how you lot feel, but I like the role that Bruno has in the deeper part, playing that deep lying midfielder. Cas Bruno pivot, yeah, well, like that pivot stinks. The mobility, zero mobility in that midfield. But in terms of the 2 10s, this is where it gets interesting. In terms of the 2 10s, guys, one of them guaranteed, I think, is Bruno Fernandes, right? One of them guaranteed, Bruno Fernandes. That's unrealistic. You think so? Do you think that's unrealistic? I don't think that's unrealistic. What part of it do you think is unrealistic? What part of it do you think is unrealistic? But in terms of Ahmad and Mainoo in the 10, please, I need that. We know that's never going to happen, guys. Like, wishful thinking. We can all sit here and do kumbaya and wish for it. But we know it's not going to happen, right? We know for sure it's not going to happen, unfortunately. I think Xerxes and Højlund start. That, what are you saying? Xerxes, Bruno, Højlund. Rashi on the bench for back-to-back games. What happened to Eriksen? God knows. Lord knows. What's the likelihood of Rashford getting benched in consecutive games? Imagine getting benched. Maybe. Oh, okay. All right. This, I think Højlund starts up top. But then again, for the same argument I have at Garte, I could have the same argument for Højlund. Højlund played most of the game against Arsenal. I think he came off like 79th minute, 80th minute for Anthony. I'm going to say Xerxes. And you know what? I'm going to say Rashford. I think this might be the team that starts, guys. Let me zoom out a little bit. I think this might be the team that starts. We've got Onana in goal, of course. We've got De Ligt, Mazraoui, Martinez, which I think is given. I think that backline is I think that's backline that's kind of stamped in. It's locked in. You got Ahmad at right wing back, Dalot at left wing back, Maino and Cass in the middle, Bruno, Rashi in the 2-10, Xerxes up top. But we already know, by the way, Xerxes playing up top doesn't really mean he's playing up top. He's really going to be more like here. And Rashford is going to be more in and around those spaces there. I love that it's unpredictable. That's jokes. You know what? You know what's even more funny, guys? You know what makes me laugh even more is that the lineup is unpredictable, but yet the lineup still gets leaked on Twitter before the game. How? Why is Man United the only team that I see the lineup getting leaked 2 hours before the game? Please, can someone explain this to me? I mean, maybe I'm an idiot. Is it players that are leaking this to people? Because it's not even like it's coming from journalists who cover Man United. I'm talking about the Whitwells, Carl Anker, the people that cover Man United on a consistent basis, yeah? They don't leak lineups. They wait, like everyone else, 1 hour before the game. They get their little team sheet in the media box. Bam, that's when they get the lineup. How do these random Twitter accounts get the lineup every time? And by the way, it doesn't matter who like, I can't even say it's this player that's leaking it or that player that's leaking it, because player X can be out of the, not be in the lineup and it will still get leaked. Even if the opposition team gets the lineup an hour and a half before, it's United accounts that are leaking it. I just don't get it. I don't know. And I know another thing that people do is also like they go to the team hotel to see who's there, who's leaving. So if United are playing away, they'll go to the team hotel to see who's leaving for the journey. And that's how they'll know who's kind of traveling for the match day squad, etc., etc. And that will be leaked as well before Man United share on the website. I don't know, man. It's weird. It's all kind of weird to me. But even with saying that, it's the reason why I was bringing that up is because it's funny that we don't know who Amorim's gonna play, but you'll still get leaks. Tomorrow you'll get the leaks at like 3:30. Yeah, cash money every time. It's about 2 hours or so before the game starts. And I don't see no benefit personally. I don't know. Do you guys like to see leaked lineups? It makes no difference to me. Could be a staff member doing the leaks, not really a person that plays. Would a common staff player have access to the lineup? That's the question. Because who has access to the lineups? The players know the lineups the day, I think they find out a day or two before the game. The coaching staff, the manager. I don't, lineups are, from my general knowledge of what the football environment is, if I'm like a flipping data engineer at Manchester United, I'm not going to know the lineup before the game. Because I just work for Man United. It doesn't mean I'm going to know the lineup one day before. But if I'm part of the match day staff, you know, I'm the physio, or, you know, I'm one of the medical team, or, you know, I'm one of the coaches, I'll probably know the lineup. So the leaks could come from anywhere. It's true. The leaks could come from anywhere. And it's funny because I remember when Pogba and Martial and Lingard and all of them guys were at United, lineups were getting leaked all the time. What did people say? It's Lingard leaking it. It's Pogba leaking it. It's Martial leaking it. People are always going to find a player to blame. They're always going to find a player to blame. I think Man United, the hierarchy, need to do something about this. leaked lineups give the oppositions the upper hand. Do you think it does? Because I think you have to submit your team, your starting 11, by a certain point in the day before the game. The only time you can make a late change is due to like injury or something. And then if you do that, you can't even put a player, like say I'm in the lineup and the opposition's lineup gets leaked 2 hours before, and somebody that's really good is going to be facing up against me. The only way they can take me out of the lineup is by saying I've picked up an injury, but then I can't be on the bench. So you're one player light on the bench. So it does give the opponent an upper hand, but not so much. Probably the new kit leaking team. Another thing that gets leaked, guys, and I don't know why it gets leaked, is the kits. We're talking the kit man, the new kit man. And just on the topic of kits, Morgan, you've made me go on a rant now. Why do people leak kits 1 year before the kit comes out? Like, what benefit do you get from? I remember, guys, yeah, I went to an Adidas event back in July. Right? And this was just before the kits came out. It was the home kit had come out. Actually, I think it was August. I think it was like the beginning of August, end of July. I went to an Adidas event. Shout out to Adidas Football because they always invite me to events. And there they had the United kit. They had the away kit and they had the third kit. But obviously it hadn't been released yet. It hadn't been announced. But it looked exactly like the leaks. So I was laughing. I was talking to someone at Adidas and I was laughing and I was saying, oh, I've already seen this kit in it. I've seen it online. And they were like, yeah, I don't know how people can get a hold of it. People got a hold of pictures from the photo shoot that they were doing with Man United. So it's like me being if I'm on set for a Manchester United shoot and I'm just walking past, say I'm there for a media day and I'm walking past and I'm seeing Rashford in a new shirt, yeah, standing there taking pictures, and I sneak a picture on the low and I say, yeah, that's the new kit. That's how it gets leaked. But I just don't get what people get from leaking kits. Like, I remember back in the day when I was younger, and I'm talking like 2000s, yeah, you'd have to wait until the first day of the season or pre-season to see what the kits look like. That's when you would see, oh yeah, this is what the new kit looks like. Oh my God, it looks so sick. Now, I'm already seeing leaks. Now, I saw leaks in October for the kit next season. And I'm like, guys, I haven't even had the time to get this season's kits. And you guys are already leaking next season's one. I don't get it. Chelsea's kit been already leaked. Yeah, it just don't make sense. Social media, yeah, I guess social media plays a big part of it. And you know what also I realized on social media, just quickly, on the topic of like leaking lineups and that, everybody wants to be the first. So everybody wants to be the source of the news. But that can backfire if your news is not 100% reliable, because you'll end up doing what Trump talks about all the time, fake news. You'll end up doing fake news. So everybody, the world of social media, everybody wants to be the first to kind of get news. And I'm not gonna lie, if you're the first to get news in the world of football, it's not easy, guys. It's not easy having sources, having like, connections and relationships with people. It's not easy. But when it comes at the expense of leaking team news, I'm just like, why? I barely ever see like I follow a couple of like Real Madrid fans, Barcelona fans, etc. Fans outside of England. I don't see teams getting leaked like that. In La Liga. Remember during the summer transfer window, people thought Amrabat signed a new contract because he was still on Man United's website taking pictures for the new kit. Do you know when they take those pictures? I found out they take those pictures in like March. They take those pictures in March or April for the new kit that comes out in July. And I actually found out that right now we're in the 24-25 season, right? They've already started probably designing the 28-29 season kit. They've already started designing it. So probably that's another reason why things get leaked. But anyways, away from the topic of leaks, I actually saw the Everton Stadium was leaking. Just on the topic of leaks, I saw the Everton Stadium. How can you have a new stadium and it's already leaking? That makes no sense. Are they fully moving out of Goodison Park at the end of the season? Or are they leaving Goodison Park during this season? Is it next season that they start in the new season? In the new stadium, or do they start there at some point? Because I've seen they're saying that the Goodison, the Merseyside derby on the weekend is the last one at Goodison Park. So I guess it will be after that. Is there any news on whether it's cancelled or not? I don't know. The last I knew earlier that they were gonna cancel it. It's next season. Okay, yeah. The last I saw was that they were going to cancel it. But this is, listen, back to the topic, the main topic. This is the lineup I'm going with. The lit in the middle, Mazraoui, Martinez. I can see Yoro coming on. I can see Maguire coming on. I can see Malacia coming on. Or I can even flip it and say I see those starting and these lot coming on. Casemiro, Meno in the midfield. Ahmad right wing back. Rashford, Bruno 2 10s. Xerxes up top. I can't imagine how clunky this would be, guys. Yeah, how clunky would you get? And this is just a hypothetical. I'm not saying Bruno's getting dropped, but how clunky of a front line do you guys think it would be? Yeah, with Højlund, Xerxes, and Rashford, that would be the most. Wallahi, that's the most. I can't even. It's just like I can't even. I'm trying to find a word, but I can't find a word. I'm trying to find. It would just be so clunky. It would be like playing football with Timberlands, but you got chewing gum stuck on the bottom of your Timberlands. So you're lifting up your foot, but it's just not lifting up. That's what I feel like it would be watching these three play together here. Bruno offers that balance. And I think Højlund playing 80 or so minutes against Arsenal can warrant him some time to get a rest, to get some rest, on the weekend. There will be spaces all over the pitch out of position. I think one thing that Manchester, I feel like with Amorim, talking about match fitness and all of that kind of stuff. I hope you're not adding Xerxes to the clunky list. I don't think Xerxes is clunky. Højlund, like I've already said my opinion on Højlund hold up play. There's way too much that I've watched Højlund kind of the ball bounce off his shin. Like way too much trying to hold the ball up. That's when I talk about clunky, that's what I'm talking about. Is the ball coming in, you're playing back to goal, and yet it's hitting off your shin. Maybe that's why Luke Shaw wears shin pads the size of my flipping AirPod pack. Guys, that's another one of my pet peeves in football. Seeing as we're talking about pet peeves, yeah? Why do footballers wear shin pads that are like this size? This size. I saw Elise the other day coming on. He didn't have shin pads on. So the fourth official told him, put your shin pads on before you come on. So he went to the bench. He got shin pads that was the size of this. It was so tiny. He put it on, he went on the pitch, and then he took it off and he threw it. Again, another one of my pet peeves. Clunky is Casemiro with Timberland Pro boots or Weghorst with steel toe boots. Clunky is when I'm describing something as clunky, I'm describing it like, just imagine Højlund back to goal. The ball just keeps bouncing off his leg. That's what I mean by clunky. You're clunky with the ball at your feet. Those are real ballers. Mina Dibbling has ones. I get it. They don't like it because even when I used to play football and when I do play football, I don't like playing with big shin pads or just shin pads that cover my shin because the ball is going to bounce off your shin all the time. It's just weird. Big up to Uthman says, big up Mina. I'm concerned Forest are an athletic side who transition well. There's one person I've seen everyone talking about. I don't think should we? All right, let's talk. Let's talk about him. I don't want to talk about him, but we'll have to talk about him. Let me bring him back up on the screen quickly. I think the Lit will have an interesting battle against him. Are you guys worried about him? Chris Wood, I think he's got like 7 goals in the league so far. How many goals he's got? He's got 9 goals. 9. I was 2 off. Damn, he's 3rd top goal scorer. 9 goals in 14 games. Out of curiosity, guys, and I'm just, asking a question. How many goals does Manchester United's front line have combined in the Premier League? Just out of curiosity. Let's go and check. Manchester United. Okay. Because have they got more goals than him combined in the Premier League? Oh, it's not showing me by player. Okay, let me look at the squad. All right, let me look at my front line. Let me look at our front line. Xerxes, 3 goals. He got 3 goals. Oh, yeah, he got 3 goals on the weekend. He got 2 goals on the weekend. 3 goals. Garnacho, 3 goals. Ahmad 1 goal, Rashford 4 goals. Okay, so we do. As much as the front line stinks, they don't stink that bad. Hoyland got 1 goal, so that's about 12 goals altogether. Rashford has the most goals in the league so far. And by the way, guys, nobody's paying attention to the fact, that Amad Diallo is in the top 5 most assists this season in the Premier League. Nobody's paying attention, by the way. Amad and Bruno combined. This season, let me just bring it up here. Of course, we're only, 14 games in, 13 games in. But given how much time he's played, I saw a tweet earlier today it was a clip from the Stretford paddock. And it was a guy on the Stretford paddock. I'm sorry, I don't know what his name was, but I think it was probably done. This video was probably filmed, I don't think it was recent. But he was saying that Ahmad has been here for longer than Mount, and they've done the same amount. And I was thinking, Ahmad, this season alone, Ahmad has played more minutes in this season alone than Mount has in his entire Man United career. So that should say a lot, number one. Number two, he's got more goal contributions this season alone than Mount does in his entire time at Manchester United. But you look at this right now, Bukayo Saka, 10 assists, corners help. Mohamed Salah, I don't know how. Honestly, guys, I'm a hater, innit? Nobody has hated the way that I've hated. But I can admit when a player is good. That's one thing I can do. I can admit when a player is good. Mohamed Salah is the best player in the Premier League this season. I don't know how anyone can look at Mohamed Salah this season and say he's not the best player in the Premier League. And as a United fan, I am laughing every day that Liverpool haven't given him a new contract. But as a football fan, I'm like, how can they do that to him? But hey, if he leaves Liverpool, so be it. Alhamdulillah, that's better for us, guys, because I think he's got his most goal contributions against the top 6 against United. But look how balanced Salah's numbers are. 13 goals, 8 assists. He's got 21 goal contribution just in the Premier League alone, by the way. That's not including cups, champs, all of that stuff. But look at Amad Diallo and Bruno Fernandes. I think people are so caught up on the bad start that Manchester United had that nobody is really deep in that. Ahmad has, by the way, created most of those assists that he's got, those 5 assists. Most of them came from him playing at wing-back. Most of that came from him playing in the wing-back position. Amad Diallo also, after Saka and Cole Palmer, is creating the most chances per 90. Again, stats. This is data, So take it with a bit of both, stats and eye test. But after Saka and Cole Palmer, he's creating the 3rd most chances in the league per 90. I think we need to start respecting Amad Diallo a bit more when it comes to the creativity of what he's doing. Salah playing for a contract, then when we'll go downhill. Paul ain't a club who does that. I don't think he's playing for a contract because he could get a contract anywhere. Let's be honest. I actually said, where do you see Salah going if he leaves Liverpool? Because not many clubs would be in for him. I don't think a lot of clubs need a right winger. You look at, places like City and all of that stuff. They don't need a right winger. I don't think it's time for him to go to Saudi yet. I'm not going to lie. I know I've had conversations with people that work in the Saudi Pro League, and they've said, for the last year or two, since he got his contract extension, the goal was to get Salah in the Saudi League. Because if you lot have ever been to Arab countries, you will know how big Salah is. You don't have to be in Egypt to see how big Mohamed Salah is there. Of course, Ronaldo, Messi, etc., they're big. But you go to even people who are not Liverpool fans, I remember I was in Dubai once. I was in the Middle East, and there's a lot of Real Madrid fans, Barcelona fans. But also, there's a lot of people that watch Liverpool there because of Salah. A lot of people. So, of course, the Saudi League getting him, it will do a lot for Arab football. But I don't think he's there yet to go to Saudi. Of course, there's a big pay. That was, Musa Diaby left Villa when he could have gone anywhere, and he went to Al Ittihad in the Saudi League, right? Because of the money. I understand it. Football is not a long career, right? It's not a long career. But I also think, imagine Real Madrid got him. Just hypothetically speaking, if Real Madrid got Salah, and you're telling me they got Rodrigo, they got Arda Güler, they got Endrick, they got Mbappe, Mbappe who's having a stinker, Vinicius, that would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous. But outside of that, I don't know where I see him going. I don't see him going PSG. I feel like if Salah leaves the Premier League, he should go to La Liga. That's it. It's either Premier League or La Liga. And that's not me being disrespectful to the French league or Italian league, etc. But I just think European football, that is like the pinnacle of both. La Liga is the pinnacle of that as well. Minna Salah knows what he's doing. He's gone to Saudi, 300 million a year. Probably this is next money. He don't care about all of that now. Man is Egyptian. You know what though? I feel like he still wants to win that one final trophy. It has to be though. That one final trophy that he wins, it has to be the AFCON. He has to win an AFCON for his country. He has to win an AFCON. Does that Egyptian team still do well in the cups? Can see him going there. Al Ahly still do good. I think they win like the Champions League a lot in the African Champions League, but it's not as competitive. It's not as competitive. I feel like if Salah does 2 more years in Europe and then goes Saudi, it could be a thing. But also with Saudi, they are trying to make football there competitive. I feel like there's this idea of Saudi football being a pay rise for people. And I think they're trying to move away from that idea and create, like, because if you lot watch, and I would encourage you lot to watch Saudi football if you do, yeah, the fans are as electric as Europe and, South America and North Africa, etc. It doesn't get enough coverage. Apparently there's a documentary as well on Netflix about the Saudi Pro League, so I might actually watch that. But anyways, we clearly got distracted. Today's stream, I've just been talking about a lot of random stuff. Make sure you guys hit the like button as well if you've just come through. Predictions. Before we wrap it up, let's get some predictions in the chat. Man United versus Nottingham Forest, 5:30 kickoff. I hate playing. I hate the early game on a Saturday and I hate the late game on a Sunday. But I also hate Super Sunday, because Super Sunday 4:30, everybody is sitting at their chair watching United. They're watching you lose, basically. Saturday morning 12:30, I don't like it because I just don't like it. It has the potential to ruin your day. 5:30, I feel like all of Saturday, I'm just waiting around to watch United play at 5:30. But anyway, 5:30 kickoff. Is it correct to say we've done all right at home this season? 3-1. Are you talking about under Amorim? Under Amorim, we're 2-2 so far. We've won 2 games at home, lost. We draw 1 game away, and then we lost away. All season at home. I'm not sure, Jordan says 2-1 United. If man says 3-2 United, 3 points the hard way. You know what? I'm going 3-1. I'm going 3-1 Manchester United. I'm going to say United going to concede an inevitable. United, this is what's going to happen. This is the script, guys. Yeah? I'm going to break down the script for you guys. United are going to score in the first 12 minutes. They're going to concede around the 18th, 19th minute. The first half, the next 20 minutes or so, it's going to be a slumber. United are going to struggle to get out of gear. First half is going to finish. Second half, United going to come out, score 2 goals, win 3-1. That's what's going to happen. In an ideal world, I would like United to keep a clean sheet, just because I would love Onana to win the Golden Glove after how his debut year was at United, especially the Champions League. So I'd love for him to win it. And also, I think it's a testament to not just the goalkeeper, but also the backline if Man United can keep a clean sheet. So for that reason, I would love to say 3-0, but I'm going to go 3-1. And also considering the form that Forest are in right now, they've won 2 games. So their last 5 games, they've won 2, lost 3. And most importantly, they're coming into this game off the back of a loss against Manchester City. So hopefully United can get it done. I'm just happy as fans. We kind of look forward to games now. It was dire in September, October. Oh my God. I was dragging myself into my studio back then, forcing myself to do streams. I was forcing myself to record videos. It was horrible. But now we're looking forward to United. We're in a better place now. We're excited to see United play. We've got a lot to talk about. We're trying to be positive. Even when it's not going our way, we're trying to be positive. A hard 2-2 if Rashford, Casemiro, Zexi start. They don't give much. Damn, that's harsh. We are 3 at the back, so clean sheet is not much to ask. I mean, it's not much to ask, but it is kind of, because we've only kept a clean sheet in one game under Ruben Amorim. So we'll see. We'll see. Big up to everyone, guys. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't. If you've been here for over an hour and you have not hit the like button, you are an absolute disgrace. Don't be a freeloader, guys. You know the rules. You come in, you wipe your feet, you say hi to everyone in the chat, and then you hit the like button. If you're new here as well, please do subscribe. Tomorrow's schedule is straight after the game. Minutes State of Mind will be out. 5 things we learned in 5 minutes straight after the game, so about 7:30 UK time. And then I'll probably do a stream later that night or the next day. On Sunday as well, we have Manchester United women versus Liverpool. Man United women versus Liverpool. They did the double over us last season. I think the game is actually live on Sky Sports as well, so you can watch there. But we'll be here for a watch along, as always, doing watch alongs for the Manchester United women's content. And then after that, of course, daily dose of Minna throughout the week. I got some exciting stuff coming on my socials as well, guys. So make sure you follow me on all platforms there, especially like things like Instagram, etc., because that's where I post a lot of like shoots and interviews and all of that kind of stuff. I post it there. So make sure you guys go and follow me on all socials. Big up to everyone. Be sure to hit the like button. Have a wonderful Friday evening, night, whatever you lot get up to. I hope you have a good one, and I'll catch you lot all tomorrow, hopefully off the back of 3 points. I'm out, guys. Peace.